Good morning, fellow gardeners. Welcome to our lawn replacement workshop. This workshop is being presented by the Master Gardeners of Placer County. My name is Barbara Villarreal, and I will be your moderator today. As you saw in the opening slides, this workshop is being recorded and will soon be uploaded to our YouTube website. The link to the video and any accompanying resources will be on our public website, pcmg.ucanr.org. If you have any questions during the talk, please post them in the chat box, and our presenter will answer them at the end of the session. You can find the chat box at the bottom of your screen in the Zoom menu bar. Our presenter today is Becky Fritchie, who has been a master gardener since 2015 and is a fountain of garden knowledge and always ready to share. I know she has a lot of fun and useful information in store for all of us today. So Becky, take it away.
Thank you, Barbara. Hi, everybody. My name is Becky Fritchie, and I am a 2015 graduate of Placer County Master Gardeners. Before that, I took the Greener Gardener series of classes through the Roseville Utility Exploration Center. And it was there that I learned about sheet mulching and tried it myself on my side yard and found out that it was such a fantastic way to replace your lawn that we thought it would be a great idea to share that with you today. So I'm going to turn off my video and we're going to start talking about the master gardeners and replacing the lawn. Okay, let me turn myself off. There we go. Okay. Oops. And of course, my video doesn't want to advance. Okay, Barbara, I'm not advancing.
Hit your right arrow or your page down button.
Yep, I'm hitting.
Try clicking on the PowerPoint itself.
There we go. Thank you. Okay, now let me turn my face off again. Okay, so who are the Master Gardeners? Master Gardeners of Placer County are volunteers who have gone through extensive training and able to provide research-based gardening information to home gardeners. Our goal is to encourage members of our community to make informed gardening decisions. Oops, let's try it again. Boy, I'm having a heck of a time, you guys. There we go. We're super easy to find. We have a hotline you can submit your gardening questions to via two options. The first is to call the number you see on your screen and leave a message. The second is to fill out a form found on our website. Remember, the more details you provide, the better it is to be able to answer your questions. Our website is pcmg.ucanr.org. There's all kinds of gardening information available on our website. You can also find us in the Gold Country Media, where we have a quarterly column. And we also have a quarterly newsletter called The Curious Gardener that you can subscribe to via our website. Each year we put out a gardening guide and calendar, which you can purchase at local nurseries and the Roseville Utility Exploration Center, or from our website. And I hope I'm going to block my face, but here I have one. And what's really cool about the gardening guide and calendar is you've got what to plant when, when to prune and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, there's all kinds of valuable information in this. So check it out. Again, local nurseries, the Roseville Utility Exploration Center, and on our website. Okay, let me stop that again. Let's see. I don't know why I'm having so many computer problems today. My apologies, everybody. Let's try. There we go. Oops. Okay. You may also find us speaking to various gardening clubs throughout the region. We hold many workshops throughout the year, and many of our workshops have been recorded. You'll find the links to our website along with the Utility Center's website, which you'll find all the workshops there. During normal times, we participate in farmers markets in Auburn and Roseville, along with local fairs and festivals. As a matter of fact, tomorrow you will find us at the farmers market at Mahaney Park, along with next Sunday. In April, we hold a large garden fair, and this next year it's going to be at the Maidu Center. And we're hoping to be holding our 35th Mother's Day garden tour in May. Again, all the information can be found on our website. All righty, so let's talk about replacing your lawn or taking your dirt and turning it into organically rich soil by learning about sheet mulching. So why do you want to replace your lawn? Could it be the drought? Did you know that typical lawn consumes roughly 30 gallons of water per square foot? A drought-tolerant landscape typically requires only 3 to 5 gallons. Are you tired of mowing, buying fertilizers, weeding? Are you thinking you'd like plants that support pollinators and provide habitat? There are many reasons to say bye-bye to lawns. If you look sheet mulching up online, you may also see the expression lasagna composting. It's virtually the same thing. As you will see, sheet mulching is an excellent way to start to convert your lawn into areas into which to grow vegetables and or plants. I recommend you start the process in the fall when hopefully we have rain and most plants aren't actively growing. Make sure you plan ahead and mark the space you want to convert and make sure you have the supplies you need, which are very few. You need paper and or cardboard, dried leaves, or lots of compost, coffee grounds, and mulch. Coffee grounds, you can find big bags of it, many at the chain coffee shops. I know, not to throw out names, but Starbucks has in the corner, they have a bin and they've got these large bags that says grounds for gardeners that we can have. Let's go through the process. First, cut down anything growing you plan to mulch over as low to the ground as you can get. I used a weed whacker as it also chopped up some of the roots that were close to the surface. Make sure that you remove any weed seeds. When you're removing whatever you're going to be covering up, do not use herbicides. Next, you're going to cover that area with cardboard or several layers of newspaper. This is a great way to use up all those cardboard boxes that you've been sitting on in your garage. After using up all the newspaper I'd saved, I ended up buying a roll of the brown paper, which can be purchased in the paint section of a big box store. However, I found the other two, the cardboard and the newspaper, decomposed a lot quicker. You top the paper with dried leaves or compost. There's no exact measurement, but mine was roughly 1.5 inches thick. This is another advantage of mulching in the fall. Leaves are easy to find. I filled up 8 bags at my neighbors. They were happy, and I'll tell you, so was I. Sprinkle on top of the leaves with the coffee grounds. The coffee grounds provide the nitrogen or the fuel to get the decomposition process percolating. Get it? Coffee grounds percolating? Okay, now moisten what you just laid out. You want it to be damp like a wrung out sponge. Repeat this process 3 to 4 times. If we have a year with very little rain, you may need to moisten your pile. When you are done making the layers, cover the area with mulch. You want it about 2 inches to 3 inches thick. The pile will initially be quite tall, but it will go down as things decompose. Very important to remember, keep the cardboard or whatever you're using away from existing trees and shrubs, as it may interfere with their gas-water exchange and stress the plants. Also, keep your pile away from buildings so you don't invite termites. You will find your mulched area ready to plant in 3 to 4 months. Now for an example. This is a picture of our front yard shortly after we bought the house. My husband was gone quite a bit, so I was the one that mowed. And I'll tell you, I hated it. We spent a lot of money on water, which basically ran down into the storm drain, as you can see on the sidewalk. We were excited as we qualified for the City of Roseville Cash for Grass program. I do recommend, if you're going to go through this process, check with your local municipality and see if they have a rebate for your conversion. A drought-tolerant landscaping was put in. The grass you see was considered no-mow and drought-tolerant. Well, it grows in plugs. And what took root between those plugs? Weeds. It also required more water than we anticipated, so it had to go. The front walkway and little patio area are permeable, so the water stays on our property. I'd sheet mulched our large side yard years before with great success and decided to tackle out front. I did this the week before Thanksgiving. And in this picture, everything is still in process. I'm still putting mulch on top because you want to hold the moisture in. My biggest mistake was not putting in some type of edging along the sidewalk to hold the mulch back, as we get a lot of birds that like to kick the mulch out, and neighborhood dogs like to run through the yard. Now, this is the toughest part of the whole process, the waiting. This is a slow process as there's very little heat to speed the decomposition process along. Remember to keep checking for moisture. You know your bed is finished and ready for planting when your layers are no longer recognizable. The soil will be dark and earthy smelling. The months that you're waiting provides you with the time to design your landscape and irrigation system. There's a couple of items I'd like you to think about when it comes to the design of your new garden. What's the vision for your new space? Will you be planting drought-tolerant plants, pollinator garden, plants in a particular color, or edibles? You will need to know how much sun and or shade the area receives during the year to give you an idea of what plants will work in that location. When shopping for plants, you will see many labels list the USDA hardiness zone, seen right there. Roseville and the surrounding areas were zone 9B. Our foothills are zone 9A. Our area is considered to be primarily a Mediterranean climate, which is described as having long, hot, dry summers, mostly winter rains, and overall is mild. This is something to keep in mind when considering what you want to plant. It is also recommended you plant in multiples, such as 3 of each kind. It's just easier on the eye and the yard doesn't look too busy. A website you may be interested in to research plan is Woolcoles. It has a fabulous tool in which is their plant search database. You can look up plants that grow in your city and filter your search by water usage and the type of plant. Another great website to look up plants is calscape.org. This site lists native plants which can be searched by zip code. My zip code is 95747, and the site showed 373 plants native to this area. Pretty cool, huh? Many people prefer to draw a layout of their property. After drawing a basic layout such as the one shown, I suggest using colored pencils to draw in where you want to place your new plants. Excuse me. Remember to space them according to their mature height and width. I mentioned planting irrigation. Please don't use sprinklers that shoot water everywhere, including the sidewalk. Let's just water your plants. Here are 2 popular ideas. The photo on the left has the emitter sitting on top of the mulch, so you can see how the water is being delivered to each plant. Mulch will cover that tubing to hold moisture in. The photo on the right is inline drip. The line has perforations that drip water slowly so the soil has time to absorb the water. Hence, no runoff and little evaporation. I recommend you create a drawing of your irrigation system and keep it for reference should you need to dig sometime and can't remember where your lines are. Many cities, such as the City of Roseville and nurseries, hold informative irrigation workshops, and local irrigation stores are more than happy to help. Well, the months of waiting are over. This is an after photo taken by our neighbors across the street who told me how much they enjoyed looking at our yard. I started the planting in late April and finished in May. This photo was only taken a month later in June. The yard attracts tons of pollinators and birds. Much better than the boring grass, wouldn't you say? This is another front yard for another master gardener who felt her yard was also boring. It just didn't work for her. She created an award-winning garden using the sheet mulching technique. You would be amazed how these yards come to life by providing pollinator plants and wildlife habitat, critters that lawns do not attract. The plants provide so much more interest than lawn. So let's review why to sheet mulch. It saves you time for caring for your lawn. It enriches your soil so you have no more dirt. You've got nice, healthy soil. It cuts down on weeds, and I am talking it cuts way down. Depending on what plants you choose for your landscape, it should see your watering costs go down. Okay, let's talk briefly about Bermuda grass. Nasty, nasty stuff. It's horribly invasive. Bermuda grass is originally from Africa, not Bermuda. The above ground shoots are called stolons. The below ground shoots are called rhizomes. Both are capable of rooting. Bermuda grass will root quickly in moist soil. Shoots can easily grow 1 to 6 inches in untouched soil and as deep as 6 feet in healthy, moist soil. I'm only going to discuss the non-herbicide Bermuda grass management today. Bermuda grass can be controlled during the summer months by completely withholding water. You would need to spade the soil a couple times during the summer months to bring the rhizomes to the surface. However, this is more of a control method and may not always kill the grass. Another suggestion is covering the grass with black plastic, eliminating sunlight. It should kill the grass within 6 to 8 weeks. You can also solarize the area. This is covering the grass with clear ultraviolet protected polyethylene plastic. This needs to be done during the summer months. You need that heat, you need that sunlight. For both types of plastic coverings, the areas need to be mowed closely, watered, and you extend the plastic out about 2 feet to make sure that the infested area is completely covered. Seal around the edges with dirt or something, like they have the wood here, making sure there are no gaps. Leave the area covered for a minimum of 6 weeks. You will find more information about Bermuda grass eradication in the UC IPM pest notes, whose link you'll see on the next slide. Here are my resources. The Oregon State link provides the sheet mulching details. The IPM web, where is it? There we go. The IPM notes link will direct you to all things Bermuda grass. Just a note, if you look up IPM.UCANR or type in a search for UC Davis IPM, you will find all kinds of information regarding to home garden pests. It's not only weeds, but it's also the pests. It's a wonderful resource. The middle 2 links are sites you can search for plants suited to your area, whose slides I showed. And the bottom link is where to look up the USDA zone for where you live. That's the zone I mentioned you found on the plant tags at the nursery. This slide shows the books that I use for selecting plants for my front yard. The garden design workbook walks you through creating the templates. The others are just chock full of inspiration. This is a screenshot of our Master Gardeners of Placer County website. As I mentioned in our opening slides, there's a multitude of resources here, including upcoming events, links to our hotline via Ask a Master Gardener, information for growing edibles, our wonderful Curious Gardener newsletter, and so much more. I want to thank you for joining me today and wish you much success with all your gardening endeavors.
Okay, that's all for today. We now will address any questions that have been entered in the chat box, and I do not see any questions posted yet. You have a minute or two. If you have a question, please type it in the chat box. You can get there by hovering down below on your computer, or sometimes if it's on an iPad or your phone, the menu for Zoom is at the top, and should see a button called chat.
And if you do have questions that come up later, you can always go to our website and go to the hotline number that is right here. Either call it or you can send it via email.
Okay, I'm still not seeing any questions, so thank you, Becky, for sharing your expertise on replacing your lawn.
Excellent.
In the next couple of days, you will find a link to the recorded workshop on our website, pcmg.ucanr.org, under the virtual gardening workshops. You can also check our listing there for future virtual workshops under the upcoming events, as well as previously recorded workshops. And as Becky said, if you have run into any problems with your gardening, just click on Ask a Master Gardener, and you can enter some information in the link, and someone will get back to you. Remember, if you live in a different county or area of the world, be sure to consult your local master gardeners or other experts about geographic or climatic differences in your garden. Thank you so much for participating today. We hope to see you soon at another one of our virtual workshops. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Have a good weekend.